Hello, welcome once again, everyone, to another edition of This Week in Don's Athletics. I'm your host, Pat Olson. We'll start off with men's soccer. The men's soccer team won a 2-1 thriller Friday at Negewesco Stadium in a game that went all the way to overtime against ancient rival St. Mary's. And it was Brady Jimison scoring his first ever USF goal in the overtime to give the Dons a 2-1 win. After the match here at DonsTV, we had a chance to talk with the game star.
My first inclination was to pass or to lay it off because I was kind of facing away from the goal. But I just saw a small window and I just decided So, that's never happened to me before.
This is the first for everything.
Yeah. So the build-up, I just saw the smallest window. We've been working on so much finishing in practice, especially in that exact zone. So for it to play out the way it did is just, it's kind of surreal. I haven't done that flip in a couple years, actually. I don't know why. And then, to be honest, I just blacked out with adrenaline and just busted it out.
The men's soccer team played another match over the weekend as they lost at Santa Clara, also by that 2-1 score. It was a hard-fought match against the Broncos, so the Dons went 1-1 over the weekend, and now in West Coast Conference play through 4 games, their record stands at 2-2, but they have 2 games coming up at home this week. And Friday, they'll entertain Loyola Marymount. That's 7 o'clock on the Hilltop at Negewesco Stadium for Hispanic Heritage Night, and then on Sunday, they host San Diego at 2 o'clock. It's Pink Week, which means on Sunday that all the youngsters will get in for free. And the women's soccer team lost a 2-1 heartbreaker against the Pepperdine Waves. Pepperdine ranked 20th in the country, and the Waves took a 2-0 lead in the first half. But USF came back as Mackenzie Kreiser scored her team-leading 7th goal to cut the deficit to 2-1, but the Waves hung on for that 2-1 win. The women now go out on the road. They'll travel to Provo, Utah. They play at BYU on Thursday. That's 6 p.m., and that game is televised on BYU TV. And then they are back home on Sunday, an 11:30 late morning kickoff as they entertain Gonzaga, and that's the first of a twin doubleheader with the women 11:30, the men at 2 o'clock. And again, just to remind you, it's Pink Week, so bring the youngsters. They all get in for free. The women's volleyball team had a very successful swing through the Northwest as they won both in Spokane over Gonzaga and also in Portland over the Pilots. It started on Thursday with a 3-2 win against Gonzaga. And then on Saturday in the Rose City, they swept the Pilots 3-0, and they improved their record now in West Coast Conference, played at 3-2. They stand at 12-6 overall, but they will be challenged this weekend as they play on the road against 2 nationally ranked teams, Thursday in Malibu at Pepperdine and Saturday in Provo against BYU. Here at DonsTV, we had a chance to visit with head coach Gilad Duran.
It's got to be a collective team effort to beat 2 ranked teams. Pepperdine's always been a top team in our conference and the champions last year. BYU is having a great year. We faced them here about a week and a half ago, so we know what we need to do and we know what we're facing at, and I think it's a good chance for us and a good opportunity for us to prove that we got better between last time to this time and hopefully get 2 wins on the road, and that's the challenge. I mean, our conference is blessed to have so many good teams this year and everybody playing great volleyball, so it's a great challenge for our players to step up and bring some wins home and be ready for the second half, which will be, a lot of it will be at home, but we're in a good position. We just got to want it more, stay hungry and humble, and play to win.
And the cross-country team is busy this weekend. They'll have runners competing in 2 separate invitationals. Some of the runners will be heading out to Wisconsin, to Madison, Wisconsin, for the Wisconsin Adidas Invitational on Friday. And then some other runners will be running Saturday morning in the Bronco Invitational, hosted by Santa Clara down in Sunnyvale. Here's cross-country coach Helen Lehman-Winters.
We're really looking forward to making the trip back to Wisconsin. This is our 3rd time to this meet, and the meet has really evolved and changed since our first trip there a couple of years ago. The field is massive. It's 46 teams, so it's 15 teams larger than the NCAA championships, and it's loaded with quality. There's 6 top 10 teams, 20 of the top 30 teams in the country are competing there. So we're excited. I mean, it's our first 6K for our women, and we've really only raced once. We ran the 4K back at the Toledo Bubble Buster a couple weekends ago. So we've been training really hard, and we're excited to test our abilities in a large, very competitive field. Our men will travel down to the Bronco Invitational down in Sunnyvale, and we've gone to this meet since its inception many years ago, and I couldn't be more excited about where our men are going into this meet. I don't think we've ever placed in the top 5 in this meet, and it's traditionally a good, solid local meet with a few teams that come from out of the area, and we're coming off a really strong showing at Stanford, and our guys have been training really hard, so we're looking forward to another good, strong showing at the Bronco, and that'll set us up nicely for the WCC Championships at the end of the month.
And the men's tennis team will have a busy weekend as they're hosting the Battle in the Bay Classic. That's at the California Tennis Club Friday through Sunday in what proves to be a very competitive field. And the women's tennis team will head across the bay to Moraga as they will take part in the St. Mary's Invitational, and both the men's and women's golf teams also in action. Hey, it's a busy week here on the Hilltop, folks. The men's team is out in Indiana for the Notre Dame Gridiron Classic, and the women's golf team up in Seattle for the University of Washington Invitational. And that'll wrap up another episode of This Week in Dons Athletics. Be sure and join us each and every Wednesday for a new episode right here on USFDons.com. As always, I'm your host, Pat Olson, and go Dons!